Why do so many people get uncomfortable when we bring up the Sabbath? Let's be honest, okay? Most people want to think of themselves as obeying God. We don't want to think of ourselves as blowing off a part of his commandments, as blowing off things that he literally told us to do. We don't want to think of ourselves like that. Everybody knows the fourth commandment, whether you've read the Bible or you've seen the Charlton Heston movie. And the fact that there are other people keeping that commandment, and many of you aren't, that makes you uncomfortable. Let's be honest. When confronted with the truth, you can either accept it or you could try to deny it, hide from it, and surround yourselves with other people that think the same way. You could validate your disobedience by the disobedience of others. All the excuses they use, you use as well. But those excuses really aren't satisfying, are they? Does anybody really believe Jesus is my Sabbath? He's the Lord of the Sabbath, but he's not the Sabbath command. And if you believe Jesus is our rest, which he is, that's even more reason to keep the fourth commandment. But he's not your Sabbath. He's not your thou shalt not covet. Also, the idea that keeping the Sabbath is legalism. Nobody ever says that not sleeping with someone not your spouse is legalism, or not having other gods is legalism. That's a silly idea. And the idea that the Sabbath command or any of the 10 commandments were nailed to the cross, that's silly. If you study the Bible, it's our commandment breaking that was nailed to the cross, not the commandments themselves. Nobody seriously thinks you can go make graven images now. Why does the Sabbath make you uncomfortable? Because when others talk about it, when others are keeping it, it puts to the forefront of your mind that you are not keeping one of the commandments of God. If all us Sabbath keepers would just go away and nobody talked about it, you'd feel better. But the fact that there are some that are keeping it, it brings constant remembrance to your mind that you are not keeping a command of God. Let's be honest, that is why it makes you uncomfortable. If remember the Sabbath to keep it holy makes you uncomfortable, then remember it. But Isaiah 30 verse 10 is very valid today. Don't be uncomfortable, obey God. Happy Sabbath all.